This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From custom domains to beautiful websites using their easily customizable templates that you can have up and running in minutes, e-commerce, email and email marketing, SEO, analytics, and scheduling, Squarespace does it all and has done it for us for the last 6 years. If you are a small to mid-sized business in any industry, Squarespace is the place to go for all of your website needs. Hop over to www.squarespace.com/Hugh for a free trial. And if you like what you see and want to move forward, receive 10% off your first order by using the discount code Hugh at checkout. Thanks, Squarespace. This morning, Fujifilm announced their $2,500 26-megapixel APS-C sensor X-H2S, the first of a pair of successors, apparently, to their video-centric X-H1. So what? Hasn't this already been settled? Haven't we all concluded that full frame is the sweet spot in the industry, with camera bodies now as small as or smaller than crop sensor bodies, and newer, wider, and deeper arrays of glass that simply blow away not only top-tier full-frame lenses of just half a decade ago in terms of image quality and autofocus performance, but Fujifilm's aging XF line as well? Haven't the crop sensor manufacturers been much slower to invest? Didn't Leica just exit the segment altogether? And didn't Fujifilm flub the XH line once before, introducing it just before its thunder was stolen by the arrival of Sony's A7 III, Panasonic's GH5 and G9, even their own X-T3 just months later? I mean, isn't it a case of fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me? Well, here's what. Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant, and I'll just cut to the chase. Though I encourage you to watch my review of the original X-H1 I did almost 4 years ago for critical context. I liked it a lot, but as always, I was very clear about what it did and didn't do, concluding, well, this. For me, the X-H1 is a total package, one generation away from being spectacular, one generation away, along with its phase detection autofocus, from making me seriously consider switching from our GH5. One generation away from making me seriously consider not adding a Sony full-frame body to our kit. Now, we already own a couple of their full-frame lenses that we use on our A6300. And at that point, probably the last camera someone like me would buy for many, many years. Put differently, there truly is a case to be made that the APS-C is the sweet spot for price and performance, more than full frame or micro four thirds, and Fujifilm is making it. The X-H1 significantly ups the argument with Fuji's next generation body while using the X-T2's sensor. The X-T3 significantly ups the argument with Fuji's next generation sensor while using the X-T2's body. When their latest sensor finds its way into their latest body, call it the X-H2, it will suddenly become much, much harder to justify anything else. If Fujifilm successfully delivers on the promise of the X-H2S, that is, delivery of the specs without asterisks, caveats, provisos, or the dreaded not available with this option kind of message, which seems to be endemic to modern cameras. If the completely revamped body feels as good and works as well as the images suggest, as our experience with the GFX100S suggests, And as the Fujifilm team explained to us during multiple briefings, I have not yet had it in hand, hold that thought. If they execute most especially in the areas of autofocus performance, that is, the new system is on par with or exceeds what Sony and Canon already do. The 5.76 million dot 0.8x magnification 24mm eye relief EVF. It doesn't get squirrely in continuous autofocus mode as other implementations I've seen can, and one can zoom in for critical manual focus without it also getting funky. The purported 7 stops of Ibis. It actually delivers 7 stops. It works without panning, shutter, or edge funkiness I've seen on the X-T4 and other cameras. The purported 720 shots possible in economy mode due to the improved efficiency of the circuitry. It actually gives us 720 shots with autofocus and auto exposure with either EVF or rear panel on. The purported 4 hours of unlimited recording time, up to 4K 60p full width readout at normal room temperature, 77 degrees Fahrenheit, up to 20 minutes at 104 degrees. In either case, without what just might be the very clever purpose-built $200 optional fan, up to 50 minutes with it, especially on a hot summer day at noon when UV radiation gave even Sony's A7S III conniption fits in our tests at launch, can be used without constantly wondering when it will in fact shut off. If the new F-Log2 with a purported 14 plus stops of dynamic range really does deliver those 14 plus stops recorded internally up to 10-bit 422, 6.2K 30p, 4K 120p. If the internal ProRes recording, not ProRes RAW, although that will be available through the HDMI 2.1 Type A port, yay, up to 12-bit 422 at 6.2K 30p, 4.8K 60p, delivers without hiccup and is worth the storage overhead. If that DCI 4K 120p with 1.29x crop looks really, really good. If the full HD 240p looks really, really good. If the 40 frames per second burst rate in electronic shutter, 15 frames per second burst rate mechanical shutter really does consistently deliver those rates in focus, properly exposed, and the buffer really does deliver 175 compressed raw frames and more than 1,000 frames respectively before filling. If, oh for sake, you get the idea, if the X-H2S is what I think it just might be, functionally speaking, the best parts of the internals of Sony's A7S III, A7 IV, Panasonic's GH6, GH5, and S1H, wrapped in a body, a mini-me version of Fujifilm's GFX100S, actually good call, although now that I think about it, it is almost certainly an homage to the 35mm film Contax N, which blows all of them out of the water for ergonomics, industrial design, and performance per cubic centimeter and per gram. At a price point that is more accessible to most of us. And finally, if Fujifilm accelerates the delivery of the next generation lenses like their brilliant 18-1.4, or if the simultaneously announced 150-600 5.62 f8 and 18-120 f4 power zoom achieve that same standard, then OMG, an immaculate conception, if you will. 2. Fujifilm must have watched my XH1 video and said, yeah, okay, let's do that. Yeah, okay, maybe not just my video. 3. The camera just might result in conquest sales that would otherwise have gone to the cameras I've already mentioned, Micro Four Thirds and full frame alike. 4. It might give pause to potential Canon full frame EOS R6 buyers and APS-C EOS R7 buyers, especially if Canon continues to do what it has been doing, which is to deny APS-C and full-frame RF shooters compelling, moderately fast glass at competitive prices, and instead practically force them into very expensive full-frame 2.8 zooms or 1.2 primes. 5. It might give pause to potential Sony APS-C shooters because Sony has not shown the love to its APS-C line in quite a while, choosing instead to focus on full frame, although hold that thought for another video. 6. It might give pause to potential Nikon buyers, although while Nikon is not offering compelling APS-C cameras or lenses per se, they are offering extraordinarily compelling, moderately fast, relatively accessibly priced Nikkor Z full-frame primes, and their full-frame Z6 II, although not as capable a video hybrid, is still a wonderful photography tool selling for $500 less than the X-H2S is at launch. And 7. It is likely the case that the X-H2S, or perhaps the other X-H2 to which Fujifilm alluded in the X Summit, especially if it is the camera into which, I think it fair to say, they implied a brand new 40 megapixel sensor will go, may well wind up in our kit because it's just such a complete camera with a lens catalog that increasingly makes sense for us. I've got my own 16-55 2.8 and a loaner 33 1.4 just waiting here for a production unit to arrive at our front door. But those are a lot of ifs. And full-frame manufacturers are not going to stand still, nor smartphone manufacturers either. Apparently, a Sony manager just said that smartphone image quality will exceed that of DSLRs anyway by 2024. But we will see soon enough, and for now, here in 2022, as soon as we do get an X-H2S in hand and have time to play with it in the real world, I'll let you know what we find. Hold that thought, too. Although, you know what could be really amazing? This EVF in an X Pro 4. Just saying. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From custom domains to beautiful websites using their easily customizable templates that you can have up and running in minutes, e-commerce, email and email marketing, SEO, analytics, and scheduling, Squarespace does it all and has done it for us for the last 6 years. If you are a small to mid-sized business in any industry, Squarespace is the place to go for all of your website needs. Hop over to www.squarespace.com/Hugh for a free trial. And if you like what you see and want to move forward, receive 10% off your first order by using the discount code Hugh at checkout. Thanks, Squarespace. If you like what you've seen here today, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, join the conversation below because this is an incredible audience. If you'd like a copy of our Streets of New York, the book, head over to www.3bmep.com/books. If you'd like to schedule a one-on-one video session with me for a portfolio review, explore or hone your artistic voice, select gear, and more, sign up at www.3bmep.com/booking. Finally, consider supporting our work by using our no-cost-to-you affiliate links down below, picking up some official Three Blind Men and an Elephant swag at 3bmep.threadless.com, sending coffee money via PayPal, or best of all, join us as a patron over at Patreon. However you choose to support us, as always, we thank you for it.